this is accepted, this is not acceptable, this is not acceptable behavior.
This is who I report it to, these are the actions that are going to take care of it.
And these are the consequences of treating someone like this.
Right.
And so I always thought, okay, this is how it's going to be like, what it's going to be like when we get into the workplace. And it's going to follow suit like that. And absolutely not. Never once has it ever worked out that way. And I surely have been sexually harassed in every single job I've had, as I am sure almost every single female listener out there, if you have worked, you have most likely been sexually harassed in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. I definitely know I have. And I would even say that even if you haven't necessarily held down a 9-to-5 job or whatever, if you're a stay-at-home mom, any interaction you have with mechanics or maybe people delivering your packages or something, you've been treated as if you're a sexual object in an environment that it's totally uncalled for.
Exactly. You bring up such a great point, because even out of the workplace, still when we go to like a mechanic shop or, whatever, maybe even a car dealership, it's a little, I hate to get off topic, but
right.
That's a great point.
For this show, we're speaking about
in the workplace.
Yeah, someone has the power over your livelihood.
Exactly.
And your future, your career.
And I hate to throw an entire industry under the bus, but I'm just about to do that.
Do it.
Angela and I have both worked in the restaurant industry for a very long time. And I no longer work in the restaurant industry, but I spent many years in it. And I can tell you, if there is a place where it is prevalent, it is in the restaurant industry. In fact,
100%.
So much so, if you don't kowtow as a woman to the sexual comments and the innuendos and even customers touching or groping or saying something inappropriate, you don't have a job. You get pushed out of that restaurant or wherever you are.
Oh yeah,
you are lickety-split.
You are so not fun if you don't let a certain level of groping occur to your person or whatever the comments or whatever. But I always thought that touching was my limit. If somebody touches my body, absolutely not. No way. But I have had people touch my butt and grab my side and
where were you?
Hug me at work and just, customers that come in all the time and they feel like they get to know you. They feel like they know so much about your life and they hug you a little tightly, rub your back a little low, squeeze a little something that maybe they shouldn't touch. And I used to think that was my boundary.
And what happened? What did you do? Did you say, stop touching me?
Only if it gets extremely inappropriate. What does extremely inappropriate mean? At this point, I cannot define that for you. Because I used to think I knew until it happened. And I think that's one of the points of this conversation right now is how far do we let this go? Is it an individualized experience or is there a universal standard of what's acceptable? And should anything be acceptable?
I don't think anything.
I don't think so either, but
I don't think anything should be acceptable either.
Definitely happens to be in my case. We're still working in the restaurant industry. I let people talk to me and touch my body in ways that I am absolutely not okay with.
I can remember working in the restaurant industry. A gentleman, I was a hostess at the time. He asked me if I would star in his personal porno series.
Oh God.
I'm only laughing because this is atrocious.
It's atrocious. And I was mortified. And I said, no, absolutely not. And I, at that point, didn't care if I kept my job or not. I was so offended. And I was embarrassed. And it was at he had a table of men with him. And he thought he was just so funny. So I went and told my general manager. And he laughed. And he said, oh, that's no big deal.
Oh, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment. Don't worry about it. Brush it off. It's, blah, blah, blah. So I had no support whatsoever.
Yeah.
I understand they were customers.
Like I was saying
yeah, but why are the customers right to be able to talk about you like that and say things to you like that?
And they shouldn't be.
No, but they totally are.
They shouldn't be. But you bring up such a great point. What is acceptable? Where is the boundary? Where is the line? And you're right. I don't think that we have drawn one in the sand. We are so scared about losing our jobs. I mean, we're juggling things, bills and children and family, and, we can't just go run and quit our job every time it happens. And where do we go when it does happen? And do we have support? And I can honestly say, in all the positions I've had and been sexually harassed, I don't feel I have the support.
I definitely haven't either.
That I would lose my job or be pushed out.
Definitely. I definitely will corroborate that point. In my own experience, no support.
No support.
There's no place to go. There's no place to go except go to work every day and take it, or quit your job.
Exactly. And I have a story to share. This is horrible, but so the company I was working for, the restaurant, it went out of business and I lost my job.
Oh, kind of gay, kind of boo.
I know. And so I was so excited. I had been networking at the chamber and I got this opportunity to interview for this great job, and I was offered a lot of money. For the first time, and it was a marketing gig, and super excited for a small firm, operated by one man, and I think less than 50 employees or something like that, and I was going to head up their marketing department.
Seemingly a great opportunity.
Yes.
The start of a great career, great position at a small business.
Yes. Room to grow, and he wanted to expand the company and get into other things, and I was super excited. And his longtime employee started harassing me the second day on the job. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? Like, it was just a little touch. I won't say anything. It made me uncomfortable. And then the third day, it was a hug with a sweep over the breast. And then the fourth day, it was standing behind me while I was doing my work and breathing on my neck and, like getting his growing right on my tuchus.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it was horrendous. And I said, I think his quote was, "I'm a hugger. You better get used to it." This is what I do.
I just love ya. I just love everybody. I just want to give them a little hug. No.
Dude, you just want to touch me, and you want to feel me up, and you want to harass me and impose your clout and your seniority at this establishment and say that you can get away with it because you just like to hug. Well, go yourself.
Yeah.
And I was so uncomfortable, and I grappled, and I debated, but I ended up just quitting via email. Very respectful email to the president, and said, I no longer can work for your company.
Did you tell him in the email why you were leaving?
No. But he called me, and he said, "This is just strange. You've only worked here 2 weeks. Why are you leaving so suddenly?" And I said, okay, bottom line, Mr. X has done this, that, XYZ, and it's completely inappropriate. And he said, "Oh, yes, that's happened before. 2 of the people who came before you have quit for the same reasons."
Wow.
And I said, really, you might want to get him into some sexual harassment training course on how to behave himself in the workplace. And he was like, well, he's my best employee, my longtime employee, and I really don't want to rock the boat. And is there anything I can do? And I said, no, I quit. Done and done.
So it's more lucrative or acceptable for him to just say this guy is his best employee rather than and running multiple employees off that could benefit his business for one man to protect this man who has a problem with harassing women. That's unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable that someone would say to you, "Yeah, that happens all the time."
Exactly. And I mean, he ran the risk of me learning that from him and taking him to court. Of course, I wasn't going to do that. I'm not litigious.
Right. Well, you were only invested in that company for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I mean, I don't have a case. I don't have anything. And maybe I do, but I do not want to drag my name through the mud and get raked over the coals because of this incident that, clearly I just had to quit and go on and find a new job. But it did put me... I should never have been in that position.
Absolutely not.
I had to quit. I had to lose money. I had to look for another job. I had to struggle because I was harassed and there was really no option for me except to leave. It was a very small company. Sad. And then when I did tell the man, he really didn't care.
Yeah, he blew you off.
Yeah.
He told you were not as important as his longtime best employee.
Exactly.
Even though obviously this man is costing him tremendous amounts of money with losing employees, rehiring, retraining,
all that money spent to do that and time spent. It's
mind-boggling that someone would incur all of that to protect someone who is first of all, breaking the law, and second of all, harassing women, and third of all, like hurting their own company monetarily. Even if it's all about money. Why are men protecting men doing this?
It's insane. It's a hard lesson to learn.
It is, and you had a good point too that, like, you know, your recourse was nothing. Your recourse, like dragging your name through the coals, you have no proof. You have no proof that anyone did anything to you, because men that do that most typically, except for in the restaurant industry, most typically do it in private when no one else is around, and if they do it in public, it's shrouded in this, I like to hug, I'm part of the team, you know, maybe a little slap on the butt or something like that. That is, you know, with onlookers on, you can't really stand up for yourself, because then you're this woman who has caused other people to become uncomfortable.
And the blame falls on us.
And the blame is on you, because you rocked the boat. Mm-hmm. You are the one that made other people uncomfortable. Not the person that messed with you and sexually harassed you. You're the one that rocked the boat.
Exactly.
Because everyone else just accepts it. And I'm not speaking of anybody that does not include myself, because I have absolutely been that woman myself, and that's angering to me. And I think it affects my self-esteem to a degree, my feelings about my personal integrity. And I like to think that I'm always like a woman who tries to be better and who wants to be able to stand by my word and live every day to the best of my ability. But I daily allow myself to be sexually harassed. And I, too, have had to leave a job because of someone treating me inappropriately.
And you were at that job for 5 years.
Yes, 5 years. 5 years I took everyone else gone for the day, sitting at the desk with my boss, one of a couple of bosses, telling me, one of his quotes exactly was, "I wish I wasn't married so I could play with you."
Oh my God.
So he could play with me.
And what did you say in that moment?
I said nothing. I think I giggled. I think I just like laughed it off and moved on to the subject at hand, which was what we were working on.
And that's what we do. We're put in these situations time after time where all we can do, we have choices. Either get up, walk out. You were in a small company as well.
I was.
Your
and
HR
I was
actually
single,
the
living
man
on my
sitting
own.
in front of you.
Absolutely.
I mean, who were you going to go to?
HR. Oh, his brother.
I mean, yeah.
Who was another owner of the company. Yeah. No, we could get angry.
Yeah.
Totally get
I mean,
angry.
it's completely frustrating. So again, we are put in the position to either walk out, lose our job, not have that paycheck coming in the next week or whatever. And so we play into it. And so then, historically, we might be looked at as the people, as the group that encourages it. Yeah. Because we're seen laughing at these jokes, or smiling, or giggling, or turning a little pink, and we look like we're blushing, and we're cute, and we're coy, and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's a bunch of crap.
It's a bunch
we're
of crap.
doing it to save our jobs, folks.
Yeah.
I hope men are listening to this as well as women.
And other women who are onlookers thinking that we're trying to seduce these men to sleep our ways to the top.
And let me tell you, there are women who do that, and that's great.
Yeah.
Go for it. You want to sleep your way to the top, you think that's the way to get there, great, whatever.
Have fun.
But that is not what we're talking about today. I mean, that is, I don't know the percentages of that, but I'm going to say that that's maybe less than 1%.
It is. And that, honestly, that would be an empowering choice.
Exactly.
To do so.
You want to do that? You want to use your vagina to get to where you need to go, whatever. I don't know. Fine, go for it.
As long as it's a powerful choice.
If it's a powerful choice and you don't feel put upon. The flip side is that some men get sexually harassed. I don't know how many. I don't know, the statistics on that, but I know that that's also true.
Yeah, it must be.
It has to be. But we're talking about women and how it's so unequal for us in the workplace. So I want to keep that point going. But
right. Well, Tony, can I share ultimately with everybody listening what happened at that job?
Please.
So like I said, I had to leave, but what happened was I believe that he started getting a little uncomfortable with the fact that he had been very openly sexually harassing me. And so my job became under attack. My work performance came under attack. And I decided one day not to put up with it anymore. So I quit. And what he did in retaliation was he stole